Hey, welcome back to Livin MN Outdoors. I'm Daniel, and thanks for tuning in to another fishing report. On this week's episode, we're going to touch base on Mille Lacs Lake, Leech Lake, and Lake Winnie. But before we dive into the report, just have a few announcements for you guys. If you guys do use any of the guides or resorts in today's fishing report, please let them know you saw them on Livin MN Outdoors. And one other really exciting piece of information, guys. My wife and I this past week had an ultrasound, and we learned that we will be having a baby boy in the end of September. So that's really exciting. If you guys would like to help name him, please drop a name down in the comments, and we will review all of those and take all of the suggestions into account. But with that being said, let's dive into this week's fishing report. All right, let's start up on Lake Winnie. I talked to Chad from the Pines Resort and Scott from zupsguideservice, and they gave me a great fishing report this week. The walleye bite is going really good up there right now. They said the best steps to target those fish is 8 feet to 16 feet of water. Now, if it's windy and cloudy, look towards that shallower end of that spectrum. If it's calm and sunny, try a little bit deeper. Now, they're still targeting sand flats and weed lines. A couple of good areas that they told me was the Plug Hat area and the High Banks shoreline. They're getting them still on a jig and a minnow, using anywhere from an 1/8 to a 1/4 ounce jig. Now, they said when jigging those walleyes, it is kind of key to make long casts, or if you're trolling your jigs, get them well beyond the boat. The more distance you can put between yourself and that fish, the better chance you have of getting them to bite. Now, as far as the perch go, they're still picking up a lot of really nice perch. The perch are all spawned out now, but they're finding really big schools of 9 to 12 inch perch mixed in the same areas that you would find walleyes. Now, you might have to downsize your jig a little bit from 1/16 to a 1/8 ounce. A fathead or some of them bigger perch will still eat a shiner, but they're getting some really nice limits of perch out there on Winnie. Now, northern pike, the northern pike are still mixed in. They're catching them on the jigs and minnow. If you want to up your odds, probably do some trolling with some bigger spoons, some big spinner baits, something along those lines, and you will catch plenty of pike out on Lake Winnie. Now, I asked them about bass fishing. They said nobody's really been targeting bass yet, but they said if they had to guess, look for shallow weed lines, look for where the reeds typically are, and that's probably where you will find those bass. Now, the bluegill and crappie, they're starting to show up in the shallows now. They're getting ready to spawn. So if you want to find some really big bluegills and crappies, try those shallow weed edges or on tops of the weed flats, and you're probably going to catch yourself some really nice panfish. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up on Lake Winnie, we highly recommend the Pines Resort. Chad runs a great operation there. They got really nice cabins, full bar and restaurant, fish cleaning shack, live bait. He did tell me they have a large load of shiners there right now, so if you need shiners, you can definitely get some there. They got phenomenal ice cream. On Wednesdays, they are going to be doing Wing Wednesdays. That has been a huge hit, so if you're up there on a Wednesday, make sure you stop in at the Pines and get some delicious wings. Now, Chad told me that they have a 3-bedroom cabin open May 31st through June 5th. He said it sleeps up to 7 people. So if you want to get up there and do some fishing on Lake Winnie, go ahead, call Chad and get that cabin booked as soon as you can. Now, other than that, he said they have some scattered midweek cabins, but he said back in July, they will have more openings if you'd like to get up there around that time. Now, if you're looking for a guide trip up there, we highly recommend zupsguideservice. Scott Zupfer, one of the premier walleye guides on Lake Winnie. Go ahead, give him a call, book a trip, and he will put you on fish. And not only will he put you on fish, but he'll teach you how he finds them and how to catch them. So if you're looking for a guide trip, go ahead and call Scott from Zup's Guide Service. All right, now moving over to Mille Lacs Lake. The walleye bite over on Mille Lacs has been really strong so far this season. Now I talked to Jeff from Castles Resort. He told me some of the key areas to look for those walleyes on the southeast side are at Big Point in Hennepin Island. Now the depths that they're finding the majority of the fish in is 8 to 14 feet of water. Now the preferred method for catching those fish at this time is a slip bobber and a leech, but there has been plenty of guys catching them on jigs and minnows, or even on these Kitech swim baits and these VMC hybrid swim bait jigs. Now, along with the walleyes, they have been catching a lot of smallmouth bass. They're catching them on slip bobbers, they're catching them on jigs and minnows, but the best way to catch those right now have been on black hair jigs or purple jerk baits. Now you need to work really slow on them. When you're casting that jerk bait, throw it out there, give it some twitches, and give it a long pause. Give those smallies some time to see it. They usually come and hit it on that long pause. Now if you're looking to fish pike up on Mille Lacs Lake, Isle Bay is absolutely loaded with pike right now. The guys have been trolling big spinner baits in anywhere from 8 to 12 feet of water, just trolling along those weed lines that are starting to form, and they're catching some really nice pike up there. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up on Isle Bay on Mille Lacs Lake, Castles Resort, they have really nice cabins up there. They have live bait stocked, so whatever you need, they can help accommodate that. Now, if you're looking to rent a boat, they do have pontoons for rent, or their launch service will be running Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 8 a.m. to noon and 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. You must call and reserve a seat on the launch, but if you want to get out and have some fun, definitely book a launch trip with Castles Resort. Now, the walleye bite has started off the end of their dock, so if you want to stay at their resort and just fish from shore off the dock, the walleye bite is getting really good up there. Kids are having a blast, can have a campfire right there on shore, and the kids will catch some really nice walleyes. So if you're looking to get up to Mille Lacs Lake, go ahead and call Jeff from Castles Resort. All right, moving over to Leech Lake. I talked to Austin today. He said the walleye bite has really started to improve over there. He said the early mornings are still pretty slow, but that's due to the cold waters in the morning. He said mid-morning up until dark has been the best time to catch walleyes when that water temp starts to rise. Now, he said the best way to catch those walleyes is still with a jig and a shiner or rainbow. He said either make long casts, or if you're gonna troll those jigs well beyond your boat, because the water is extremely clear up there right now. Now, the areas that he said to target those walleyes in are weed lines and sand to rock transitions. Now, he gave me some areas for you guys to start looking. He said Duck Points, Second Point, Traders Bay, West Goose, and Little Hardwood. He said search around those areas, you're gonna find a lot of walleyes. Pitch a jig, troll a jig. They have been picking up a few on some slip bobbers and leeches as well, and that bite will continue to get better as the water continues to warm. Now, the perch, he said there's been a really strong perch bite mixed in with the walleyes. He said walleye and perch, they've been tossing 1/16 and 1/8 ounce jigs. That's working for the perch as well. Now, this past week, the big crappies have moved up in shallow. That bite has really blown up. He said look for those big crappies in 2 to 6 feet of water. Use a 1/16 ounce jig and a fathead or a small paddle tail. Now, if you guys do get on those big crappies up on Leech, the limit is 5. That doesn't mean you need to keep 5 crappies that are 15 or 16 inches long. Let those big ones go. Keep some nice eaters in that 11 to 13 inch range and have yourself a fish fry while still releasing those really big fish. Now, if you're looking for smallmouth bass up on Leech, he told me that the smallies are on the shallow rocks on the main lake. Best way to catch those, hair jig, jerk bait, or a Ned rig. He said work those really slow and you'll probably run into some really nice smallmouth bass. Now, if you're looking to do some pike fishing, he told me a lot of the pike are mixed in amongst the walleye and perch. He said they've been catching some really nice pike over that 26-inch mark where you can keep them again. And if you guys want to have a really good fish fry, he said keep some of them pike, fillet them boneless, and that fish is hard to beat. Now, if you're looking for a guide trip up on Leech Lake, Leech Lake Guide Team LLC, they do have some openings this coming weekend, and they will have openings all through the rest of May, June, and July. So go ahead, look them up. We put all of their information down in the description of this video. Give them a call or book online with those guys. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay, we highly recommend Horseshoe Bay Lodge. They have condos, cabins, hotel rooms. They have a full bar and restaurant. They have amazing drinks, amazing food, a ton of fun to be had on shore at the resort, and then tons of fun out on the lake when you decide to go out fishing. Now, Horseshoe Bay Lodge, they are going to have a ton of live music this year. Go ahead, follow them on Facebook, and follow Iron Fire Bar and Grill. That's their restaurant on site there. They have all the live music listed on their Facebook page there, and you can follow along with everything that is happening at the resort. So if you're looking to stay up on Leech Lake this coming weekend or in the future, go ahead and call Cam from Horseshoe Bay Lodge. Well, I think that's going to do it for this week's fishing report, guys. As usual, when you get out fishing, be kind at the boat ramps, be patient, offer help to those who might need some, be respectful of other fishermen, don't crowd other boats, but have fun, good luck. We hope to see you guys out there. Remember to wear a life jacket, especially when your boat is moving. Make life jackets cool again, but most importantly, guys, don't forget to get on out there and get living.